For the second day in a row, I wake up in a soft bed. My bed. It's early. The library downstairs is silent. No one else is here, aside from Juliet. Didn't even transform before falling asleep last night. Just passed out like this with human arms and legs. No wonder I'm sore. After I agreed to Juliet's offer, the rest of the day passed by quickly. Aspen and Juliet showed me around the house part of the library, and Juliet made dinner for the three of us. Aspen didn't leave until the evening, and I decided to go to bed early. After the whirlwind of emotions I went through yesterday, I was exhausted and fell asleep as soon as my head hit the pillow. Not having to be on alert the moment I open my eyes is a nice change. I can toss and turn and even doze a little bit longer. I get as much rest as my body will let me. Once I've had my fill of being lazy, I finally crawl out of bed.
Okay, time to get up.
Doesn't take me long to get ready. All I had to do was put on my jacket. Tiptoed to the door out of habit, so carefully that only someone with super keen hearing would be able to hear me. Then I remember.
Oh yeah, I don't need to sneak around while I'm here.
Loosen up and step out into the hallway, shutting the door behind me. Being so openly noisy is almost harder than being sneaky. God, I feel that. The building is still quiet. Juliet told me to come find her when I wake up, so I make my way down the hallway towards the room she showed me yesterday. It's the last one in the Hey, there's another picture of that girl. Who dat? Who dat? It's one of the last in the hallway, tucked away in the corner. Is that the corner? Because that looks like that's right next to the stairs, but okay. Unlike the other doors, a tiny bit of flickering light escapes from the gap below.
This is the place.
Now that I'm standing here, my nerves start to get the better of me. What if she's forgotten me this time and chases me away? Or what if... Screw my eyes shut and take a deep breath, pushing away my worries. If I'm gonna stay here for a while, I need to stop thinking like that. Can't let that fear keep winning. Forcing myself to be brave, I twist the doorknob and enter. But shit, wait, I should have knocked, shouldn't I? Too late now. I step into the room only to be struck by how dark it is. Just one window, the main light source is a candlelit lamp, illuminating the white-clothed figure sitting at her desk. Just like the library downstairs, there are rows and rows of books covering the shelves around the room. Juliet looks up to greet me, a gentle smile written on her face.
Oh, good morning, Miho. Did you sleep well?
How do you decide which books go up here and which books go in the library? She remembered me. I had my relief, I think.
I sure did. I think that might have been the best sleep I ever had.
I'm most glad to hear it. Would you like to sit down?
Oh, sure. Thanks.
There's only one other seat, so I awkwardly sit down across from her. Feels a little bit like an interrogation.
Would you like some tea?
I've never had tea, so I don't know if I like it or not. Think I should accept her offer out of politeness, though?
Sure.
Juliet pulls out a teacup. That was such a cheerful shore for the face that she's making. Juliet pulls out a teacup from a shelf nearby and sets it on a little plate, then pours the tea without spilling a single drop. She pushes the plate with the cup over to me.
Sugar?
I've eaten enough human snacks to know that I like sugar.
Yes, please.
Juliet offers me a small pot full of little white cubes. Without hesitating, I take two and toss them in my mouth. They're kind of crunchy at first, but quickly fall apart. Juliet frowns just a little, enough that a human probably wouldn't notice. Did I do something wrong? Aw, shit, wait, I know.
Oh, thank you.
That gets her to smile, so I'm pretty sure I figured it out.
We'll have breakfast in a little while. Aspen usually comes by to help open the library, and then we eat together.
That sounds nice. Does she help out because of the sunlight?
Huh? What?
My, that's astute of you. You're correct. Although I'm able to tolerate a bit of sun, I do prefer the dark.
I understand.
I wasn't sure if you knew I was a vampire or not.
Wait. For real?
I figured it out just now. That explains how you were able to hear me and find my den, huh?
Oh my god. And the bat.
Indeed. That said, I have my dear friend Orpheus to thank for helping me know where to find you.
Incredible. Something scratches in the corner of the room, and I look up to notice a large bat dangling from a hook on one of the shelves. Has that been there the whole time?
Is he also...
No, Orpheus is a bat through and through, not a vampire. He happened to notice you on his way home one day.
So that's the friend you were talking about. I was wondering about that.
I have the pleasure of knowing several of Wellington's loco bats. They keep me apprised of news from around the city.
Incredible.
You're not, like... you know...
I tap one of my front teeth, not sure how to ask the question politely.
Oh, heavens no! I consume as little blood as one of my kind can, and what I do partake of is freely donated. I love this city, and its people. I'd never had them like that. Besides, I had quite enough of that during my time in the underworld. Is that where you come from as well?
Please, can someone explain the underworld part of this? Every time it's mentioned, I'm like, excuse me?
Oh, I'm not from the underworld. I'm from Korea. I've heard lots about it, though. I'm one of the only fabled I know of who doesn't come from there.
What?
For a long time, I didn't even know that other fabled existed.
Indeed. Gumio like yourself are some of the few I know of.
Wait, Gumiho? Is that what I'm called? That explains a lot.
You didn't know, but you go by the name Miho.
Oh my god.
Just because I like the sound, I thought it was more like a nickname. I change it up wherever I go. Gumi, Homie, Migu. I've never had a real name. I didn't even know I had a kind. I've never met someone else like me. I wonder if we'd have much in common.
Have other foxes, well, Gumiho, lived the same kind of life I have? Maybe they're better at fitting in with people than I am, and that's why I've never seen one?
Are there any other Gumio in Wellington?
None that I know of. It's possible, though.
I'm not sure what I'd say if I did meet one.
I'd wondered about others like me before, but since I've never met one, I eventually assumed they just don't exist. Finding out that they do, and that there's even a name for us, comes as a pretty big surprise. No matter how long I've been alive, there's still so much that I don't know about the world. Maybe because you don't interact with people beyond, like, surface level shit. As our discussion tapers off, the sound of the front door reaches my ears from downstairs. Juliet must have heard it too, looking over as I do.
Oh, that'll be Aspen. Shall we go down to breakfast?
I'll never say no to that.
Juliet takes to her feet, blowing out the lamp as she goes. Ah, there he goes! Orpheus the bat leaves the study when we do, though he flies off in a different direction. Guess he won't be joining us for the meal. I have to be careful not to spill my cup of tea as we walk down the stairs. Aspen waits as the Wait, did you even try it? Do you even know if you like tea or not yet? Girl. Aspen waits at the bottom, a large book tucked under her arm. She waves with her free hand to greet us.
Good morning, Aspen. It's nice to see you again.
Good morning, Juliet. And you too, Miho. I must admit, I was a little worried you might run off during the night.
What? Why would you think that?
I may have thought about it a little. After I went to bed, though, I was out like a light.
Glad you decided otherwise then. Living in the library sounds like heaven. I can't believe you'd think about giving that up. Anyway, I'm opening today, so I can't stay too late. I'll go ahead and take care of the windows.
I'll get started on breakfast then. Would you like grape or strawberry jam?
Strawberry.
I think I'm feeling like strawberry today. Oh, or some of that orange marmalade if there's any left. You have to let Miho try that too.
I'll see if we have it. Is that a nonce you have with you? You can just leave him on the desk for now.
It sure is. I'll be taking Jacques on the way out.
What?
I'll write it down.
The two of them stroll off in different directions while I stand on the stairs, unable to follow any of that conversation.
Who's Jax? Anonsei? I don't see anyone with you.
I'm assuming they're talking about the books. It's just weird that... Whatever.
This is a nonce.
She taps the cover of the book she brought with her.
He's the author of this. Juliet suggested I read some of his work, but I'm finding him rather dull.
Huh.
I try my best to sound interested, but books are the most boring thing I can imagine. Maybe I'd see the appeal if I could read them, but how can they be better than doing things yourself? You silly, silly fool. After setting the book down on the front desk, Aspen goes into the main room, leaving me alone in the hallway. I make my way down the rest of the steps. Looking down at my teacup, I decide to take a tiny sip. Finally. Itty bitty door! Itty bitty door that is a prison. Blocked by table. Yuck! I had a feeling this was gonna happen. It's kind of bitter, but also bland at the same time. You're so right. Frowning, I set the cup down on one of the shelves nearby. At least I tried it. The sugar was way better, though. The door Aspen went through is still open, and I can hear her bustling around. The room where Juliet went isn't far away either, and I already smell food. Is this gonna be my first choice? Guess I'll go watch. Oh, shit. I thought that maybe she was gonna make the choice for me and I wouldn't have to do it myself. That was too much to hope for. Man, I like both of them. Aw, man. Like, honestly, just initial sort of, impressions. I definitely was leaning Juliet a lot more. But Aspen's a real cutie patootie too. God damn it. And I do wonder if maybe if we go hang out with Aspen. Well, actually, no. Miho probably won't fucking open up about not being able to read immediately. She's still contemplating fucking dipping. I don't know. Why can't Miho make this choice for me? You pick. I don't wanna. God damn it. Fuck. This sucks. Hey, what if, okay, hold on. I have to fucking flip a coin about it. I can't pick this myself. I can't possibly. I hope I don't lose my coin immediately. I definitely just dropped it. Wait, I didn't pick which was which. It's fine. I flipped heads and I'm just gonna go heads, tails, so it's Aspen. Aspen is in the book room by now, and I wander in that direction. She steps from window to window, pushing them open and pulling the curtains back. With each one, another sunbeam pours in, and the room gets a little bit brighter.
Oh, hey Miho. How was your first night here?
Great! After you left, I went to bed early. And then I got to sleep in!
The best. Well, except for the going to bed early part.
You sure do love to sleep.
It's pretty great.
Color me even more jealous. I'm working opening shifts most of this week, so I have to be up
Disgusting.
early every day.
Yuck. You should tell them that you can't work opening shifts.
Or else, what?
Death. She stops and gives me a frustratingly familiar look. Look that means I've said something weird.
Or else I get reprimanded for being late. Duh. Not to be rude, but, have you never had a job?
Nope. I haven't done most human things, if you can't tell.
Oh, I certainly can tell.
Brutal. Fucking brutal.
Your life must be fascinating. Someday I'd like to hear about all you've seen and done.
I'm really not that interesting. My life is just wandering around for the most part. I try to avoid doing stuff as much as I can.
That was the wrong time to try and take a sip of water, apparently. I hate doing stuff. I would never.
I know plenty of people who would kill for a lifestyle like that, you know.
After pushing open the last window, Aspen starts to drift around the room, moving chairs and furniture into their spots. They're not already there?
Anyway, I come here most mornings just to have breakfast and chat with Juliet, even if I'm not opening.
Is there not any food where you live?
There usually is, but I enjoy the company as much as the food. Speaking of which, Juliet should be about done by now. Let's join her, shall we?
I follow behind Aspen as she walks on, adjusting and rotating a few more out-of-place items on the way. By the time we... Oh, this is cute! By the time we reach the kitchen, there's a big pile of buttered toast. Fuck yeah! And different spreads waiting for us on the table. As we walk up to her, Juliet's setting down a plate of sliced fruit and another of fried eggs beside it.
You two are right on time. I was just about to call for you.
I have a sixth sense for it, apparently.
We all sit down and dig in. The food, of course, is delicious.
So, Miho, how will you be spending your first day as an official Wellington resident?
I don't know yet. Hadn't really thought about it. Now that you mention it, I'll have a lot more free time now, huh? Usually I'd go hunting for food, or looking for a better place to stay, or...
Instinctively, I go silent as I reach for my pocket and the familiar crumpling paper.
Or...
If it's something you don't want to share, don't feel that you must.
Right, that too.
I hesitate. Not sure I've ever told anyone about what I'm searching for, or at least not the specifics. Had a lot of first times lately, though. What's one more? Besides, maybe the two of them can help?
No, it's okay. I've been looking for someone.
I wipe my hands first, making sure they don't have any crumbs or grease on them. Then I carefully slide the thin scroll from my pocket. I always keep it in the deepest part where it won't get wet or damaged. With great care, I gently unroll it, letting the two women see the ink markings brushed onto the scroll. The edges are fuzzy with age by now, but the text is still legible. I think, anyway.
They gave me this a long time ago. I don't know what it says.
Is that Korean? Maybe Chinese? I'm not able to read either one, unfortunately.
They remind me of older Chinese characters, but I can't be certain myself. Sorry, but I'm not too familiar with them either.
They look a little defeated, but I quickly wave off their concern.
It's okay. Nobody I've asked could read it either. For all I know, they might just be scribbles. I thought that maybe if I knew what it said, it would help me find them.
Who exactly are they, if I may ask?
They're a traveler. I learned that word just to be able to describe them. They were the first human I ever met. They told me stories about the rest of the world.
And you've been searching for them ever since then?
Yup. For as long as I can remember. I met them back in Korea, when I was a fox. I couldn't understand what they were saying. Not until much later.
Reminiscing about them gives me a very particular feeling. It's warm and fuzzy, but also a little sad. I think people call it nostalgia. My voice is a little quieter as I finish what I mean to say.
But that never stopped them from coming to see me. I don't know their name or even where they're from, but I'll definitely recognize them when I see them again.
Both Aspen and Juliet are quiet for a moment, visibly thinking over what I've said. After a long while, it's Juliet who speaks first.
In that case, I'd be happy to assist in any way I can.
Nobody's gonna point out the fact that this was clearly hundreds of years ago, at least, right? If it's well, I mean, I guess the traveler could have been from China, and then that would explain why the characters are Chinese and not Korean.
Me too, of course. Speaking of which, I may have found something useful to you. I was doing a little bit of research on Gumiho last night. There was surprisingly little to be found compared to some of the other fabled.
Wait a sec. You found out that I'm a Gumio too?
Well, yes. It wasn't too difficult to look up. Is that odd?
Has Miho never heard of the internet either? In less than a day, both Aspen and Julia were able to learn something about myself that I couldn't in a lifetime.
I guess not.
I only realize how I sound after I've said it. Juliet shoots a look at Aspen, who quickly tries to move the discussion along.
Anyway, I was trying to find out why Juliet and I can remember you when nobody else can. Although I didn't find anything about memories in particular, there was one story that claimed a Gumiho's curse doesn't take effect until a full day later.
Oh, of course. And since you and I both saw Miho again before too much time passed, we didn't forget her.
Oh.
Right, that also makes sense from what you told us yesterday, Miho, doesn't it? You said you don't tend to talk to people a second time.
Yeah, I usually try to avoid it, really.
Had never thought of my magic as a curse before, but I guess to the person who forgets me it is.
So that means that all we have to do to avoid forgetting about Miho is...
It's impossible to miss the pause before Aspen's words, like she's not confident in what she's about to say.
see her every day. Forever.
Forever. Forever. That word hangs in the air. Aspen says it cheerfully, but even I can recognize just how impossible that is. At some point, even these two will forget me, won't they? Why even try then? Why bother if I know it'll just hurt in the end? On cue, those kinds of doubts start to swirl in my head like always. It's so tempting to just stop caring and give up on others. No, I won't let myself dwell on that. Not on my first day living here. Who knows? Even if it's a long time from now, maybe these thoughts will go away for good? Juliet clears her throat before the silence goes on for too long.
Well, that's not bad at all. Preserving the memory of those you hold dear is one of the most important parts of life.
Aspen ponders for a moment before nodding.
It really is.
Seems a little early for either of them to consider me dear to them, but I keep that to myself.
So, anyway, about Jax.
For a relief, Aspen changes the subject away from me and my magic. As Juliet and Aspen chat between themselves, the conversation drifts onto things I don't know about and people and places I don't recognize. It's all probably related to books. I smile and laugh when they do, but I'm not really paying attention or talking. Listening to the two of them, they may as well be speaking a different language. The more I observe, the more it seems I'll have to learn. Not just about normal people and human life, but about myself as well, and even the world. In one day, both Aspen and Juliet were able to figure out what I am and how my magic works. I've had a long time to do that, and still had no idea. Doesn't even seem like it was hard for them. There's something that I have to admit to myself. Haven't really tried before. Just what have I been missing out on? I feel something bubbling up inside of me. Same feelings as yesterday when I decided to come back to the library instead of running away. Something that makes me clench my fists and take a deep breath as I make another decision. Something that I realize I can put a name to, even though it's a new one for me. This is what people call hope. Even if it's pointless in the end.
I want to learn how to be a person.
Hell yeah, dude. Juliet cuts off whatever she was saying mid-sentence. Both she and Aspen turned to face me, eyes wide. Oops. I guess I should have started by waiting for them to stop talking.
You want to... what?
Well, I already messed this up, but I keep going.
Be a person. To know about the things you two are talking about. All the stuff that you give me a weird look for when I don't know. I want to learn about it.
I'd say that you're already well on your way.
Her expression becomes quite serious as she continues. I'm a little glad she sees as much weight behind this as I feel about it.
Miho, there are some things that you can't rush or change overnight. This is definitely one of them. That said, starting can be the hardest part. You've already taken the first steps.
What Juliet said. I'm sorry, too. I didn't mean to keep you out of our conversation.
No, it's okay. I was busy thinking anyway. I can't stop looking for my person, of course, but maybe I can do more than that too.
We'll help you in any ways that we can.
Aspen nods in agreement, but then checks the time and size.
It'll have to wait until later, though, because I need to be leaving for work. I'm sure Juliet needs her rest, too.
Thanks. I am rather tired. Will you be alright on your own for the day, Miho?
Yeah, I should be. I'll figure out something to do.
Ah, wonderful. Here, let me take those.
She gets up and collects the dirty plates, then carries them to the sink.
Tomorrow I have to go in earlier than usual to open. If you come by, I can make you that drink again, Miho. As long as you promise not to run away, that is.
Sure. Don't worry. I'm not going anywhere this time. Although... will it still be at home?
Huh?
At home?
Like... free.
Oh.
Oh, on the house! Yes, of course! This should probably be the last time, though, or my boss will start getting upset.
Aw, okay. It was nice while it lasted.
Aspen pauses as she rises from the table and starts to leave.
You know, getting a job might be a good idea if you're serious about living a normal life. It's hardly the most fun, but then you could buy as many fairy kiss chillers as you want.
A job? Sounds like a pain.
'Cause it is. Aspen just sighs as I sink into my seat. The way she talks about having a job makes it sound fucking awful.
Well, it's just a suggestion. See you later, Juliet. Miho.
With that, she takes her leave as Juliet and I wave her off. After the distant sound of Juliet shutting her bedroom door, the whole library is silent, leaving me alone with my thoughts in the kitchen. Front doors are unlocked and open to everyone, so it's just a matter of time until the first guests arrive. Does nobody run the library? Is there nobody, like, attending to the library? How do people check shit out? Is it a library where you have to read the book there? You can't, like, check it out and go home with it? What's going on here? Who's running this place?
Well, what do I do now?
The empty room doesn't have an answer. Right about now, I'd usually be scrounging for breakfast or scoping out a new place or maybe even planning where I'll spend the night. But with a full belly and a bed to come back to, I don't have to worry about any of that. Instead, I have a lot of free time on my hands.
Guess I'll explore.
It's how I've been spending a lot of my time recently anyway, and while Juliet and Aspen seem fine so far, it's still a little tiring to be around other people so much. Having some alone time is important too. Making my way into town, walking fast, faces past, and I try to pay more attention to what people are doing instead of constantly hearing that song in my head every time I say that phrase. Instead of searching for opportunities. I meant what I said about wanting to be more of a person, but small steps are easier for me, and if there's one thing I'm good at, it's observing. Of course, I'll also be keeping an eye out for anything that can help me find my person, but I have to admit that I don't have much of a plan for that. Usually when I go to a new country or city, I'll try to find someone who might know them or who recognizes my scroll. I usually prefer asking other fabled. They're easier to deal with them than humans. It's not a very efficient plan, if I'm being honest. I'd have to get really lucky for it to work, but I haven't come up with any better ideas. Now that Aspen and Juliet have offered to help, maybe they'll be able to think of something new. For now, I'm just killing time. I take it slow passing through the city and even pop into some stores along the way. One is full of musical instruments, while right next door is a store selling kitchen utensils. Across the street, there's another place with racks full of used clothes. I step into each store and pace around the aisles, just browsing. Usually I'd never come into these kinds of shops. Even though they have some expensive stuff, it's all bulky and hard to carry. Plus, I've learned the hard way that some pawn shops and buyers are good at guessing when something is stolen. Now that I'm paying more attention to what's for sale, I realize that I don't even know what a lot of this stuff does. In the kitchen store, there's normal pots and pans and dishes, which makes sense, but there's also a bunch of different gadgets with all kinds of shapes and sizes. Can't even guess what you'd use some of them for. At the music store, I recognize a few instruments like guitars and pianos and drums. There are also a bunch that I've seen before but don't know the names of, mostly the kinds you play with your mouth. Then there are some that I've never seen and can't even be sure are actually instruments and not some other kind of device. I seem to be the only one having this problem. In both stores, the other customers I've seen all walk around like they know what they're doing, or are at least looking for something in particular. I try to listen in on a conversation that someone's having with a salesperson, but it's just like listening to Aspen and Juliet talk. I don't recognize half the words. In the end, I don't spend long in either store.
This is already harder than I thought.
Nearby, there's a clock outside of one of the stores, and it informs me that it's only been an hour or so since I left the library. Still a long time before Juliet will be up. Guess I'll keep looking around. Although I'm not expecting much, I continue to browse through most of the shops I pass, just for something to do. I think about going by the bell house and saying hello to Aspen, but When I get there, there's a line out the door and around the building. Peeking through the window, I don't even see her. Instead, someone else is taking orders at the counter. I don't feel like waiting, so I keep walking instead. I end up walking for as long as I can stand it, past the skyport and the beach, past Mount Victoria, back towards town yet again. When it eventually gets too boring, even for me, I head back to the library. It's much busier now than when I left it. There's a pile of books on the desk that people have brought back, and the checkout sheet is half full. It's an honor system? You're crazy. You're crazy. Some of the chairs are occupied, and at least a dozen people are browsing the shelves. None of them pay me any mind, even when I grab a snack from the kitchen and then head up to my room. In there, I do the only thing there is to do. Flop onto my bed and look up at the ceiling. Well, you had a TV, so you find a VHS. Shit, she ain't gonna know what a VHS is. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad to have a bed to do that in, but it doesn't help me much right now.
So I can be bored outside or bored inside.
In my normal life, I'm usually too busy to be bored. Having time to rest and relax can be a luxury. Now I've got more time than I know what to do with. I hadn't even realized this would be a problem.
Guess all I can do is wait for Juliet.
Hopefully she'll have some ideas. I get the feeling she could give advice on anything.
May as well get comfy.
We go nap. Yawning, I get under the covers and then transform into a fox. With the soft pillow under my head and the cozy blanket above me, it's a lot like being in a very comfortable den. And after all the walking I did, a nap does sound pretty nice. If I'm lucky, I won't wake up until Juliet does. Wrapping my tail around my face, I close my eyes and eventually drift off to sleep. It's almost dark out when I finally open my eyes. Just like, hey, where'd the TV go? I swear to God there was a TV there before. It was one of those little chonky guys with the VHS player built in. I swear to God I'm not crazy. That was definitely there earlier. What the fuck? Who stole my TV? Just like this morning, it takes a second for me to remember where I am and where my TV went. I burrow my way out of the blankets and then retake my human form, rubbing the sleepiness from my eyes.
That nap worked better than I expected.
Hopefully Juliet will be awake by now. If she isn't, I don't know what I'll do. There's no way I'm falling back asleep anytime soon. Unlike this morning, when I pass by Juliet's office, there's no light from under the door. I do catch the sound of something going on in the kitchen, so I make my way downstairs. In the kitchen, I'm treated to quite the sight.
Good evening, Miho. I'll be with you in just a moment.
Accidentally clicked a little too fast and cut myself off. It's not just Juliet in the kitchen. Oh my God, there's so many little guys. 3 bats as well. One clings to the back of the chair Aspen sat on this morning, another is on top of the fridge, and a third one is perched on Juliet's shoulder. I think it's that same one I saw in her office. Juliet's holding a small bag and handing out the contents to the different bats. On closer inspection, I realize that they're bugs. All the bats devour them greedily, including the one nibbling by Juliet's ear. She doesn't seem too bothered and hands each of them another treat.
All right, here are the last ones.
The bats on the chair and fridge finish their snacks and they fly over my head and out of the kitchen. Their wings nearly clip me in the face, and the gust they create blows my hair around. The last one stays on Juliet's shoulder even after it's finished eating, and then Juliet picks up a small envelope from the counter and ties it to one of the bat's legs.
Thank you, Orpheus. We'll see you soon.
Goodbye! Launching itself off Juliet's shoulder, Orpheus takes flight and exits through one of the library windows. Even though he was much bigger than the other bats, it doesn't look like Juliet was fazed by being used as a launch pad.
My apologies, Miho. You caught me just at dinner time for the bats.
It's okay. I just woke up.
Oh? I take it you had a busy day then.
Well, not really. Just walked around for a while and then took a nap because didn't know what else to do.
I see. I'm sorry to have left you on your own all day.
Yeah, how dare you?
I should have made sure you were taken care of before I went to sleep.
You fucking idiot. She sure does apologize a lot. Is that what it means to be polite? Makes me kind of uncomfortable. It's not like she did anything wrong.
What are some of your hobbies? There are all manner of things tucked away in this room. All that throughout the library.
Hobbies? I don't think I know that word.
Oh,
Something you do for fun, just because you enjoy it.
Oh, I don't really have anything like that.
although she raises her eyebrows, Juliet just nods. I'm guessing that wasn't an answer she was expecting.
I think I understand. Well, perhaps that should be our first order of business. I believe you'd find your life much enriched with something amusing to do.
Okay, like what?
She ponders for a moment, tapping the countertop beside her.
It could be anything. A sport, an art, or even something like watching television. Whatever brings you joy.
Pretty sure I've never tried any of those.
Then, it seems we have plenty of options to start with. I know you've done a lot of walking today already, but I need to go into town to run some errands. Would you be interested in accompanying me? Maybe we'll see something along the way that strikes your fancy.
Sure, fine by me. Not like I've got anything better to do.
With a smile, Juliet gathers up some more papers and envelopes from the table and tucks them under her arm.
Let's be off then.
Leaving the library unlocked, we set off down the familiar path. Juliet maintains a brisk pace, but it isn't too fast. I like this a lot more than going slow.
So, Miho, how are you enjoying Wellington itself so far?
I like it. It's not too big and it's not too small. Like that there's the ocean and mountains close by.
Yes, we're truly fortunate to live in such a paradise.
How'd you end up here in the first place? You said you came from the underworld, right?
That's correct. Ugh, I was much wilder and irresponsible in those days.
God.
But then, I met someone who changed my life. Someone who made me want to be a better person. And part of that meant reinventing myself, with a new life in a new place. Rather like what you've been doing too.
Huh. I can't picture you being crazy like you said.
That's something of a relief, but it was certainly true at the time. Sometimes, it does feel as if I was an entirely different person back then. It can be difficult to reconcile who we were with who we are, or want to be.
Doesn't seem like you had too much trouble with it.
I wouldn't say that. For one, this was very long ago. And even now, I continue to change. Everyone does. Perhaps in a few hundred years, I'll look back on these days, and they'll also seem like someone else's life.
Maybe.
Not that I think Juliet is lying, but it seems to me like she's just being modest. May not have known her for long, but if anything, she seems a little too perfect. It isn't too late in the evening yet, so there are plenty of other people out and about too. Occasionally, someone will recognize and greet Juliet, and she always gives them a friendly greeting in return. Hell yeah! Night beach! Night beach! After walking in silence for a couple minutes, I clear my throat.
I've got a question.
What is it?
Do you always walk places?
As opposed to?
Flying. Can't you turn into a bat?
Oh, yes. I suppose I can. I do so only sparingly, though. I find that I appreciate life more as a human than as a bat.
Why? That's weird. Like being a fox a lot more. Being a human just feels clumsy. Your arms and legs are way too long and get in the way all the time.
I suppose that's true. It can be quite awkward at times. Or even embarrassing.
Yeah, exactly! I've never been embarrassed as a fox.
I understand. There are certainly downsides. I believe the good makes up for the bad, though. Some things are only possible as a human, or fabled.
Like what? I can't think of any, other than talking like this.
Like writing, for one thing, as our dear friend Aspen would surely mention. Or perhaps... like dancing. Have you ever danced, Miho?
Nope, never. I don't get why people do it either. Don't tell me you like dancing. Is that your hobby?
I must confess that I do enjoy it. At times, that is. I wouldn't call it a hobby. But with the right person, at the right moment, it can be quite nice.
If you say so.
Find myself saying that a lot lately. Shaking and flopping your body around to music. Not for me. I don't even know how they come up with this stuff. But I'm trying to remember to be polite, so I keep that part to myself.
So, on that note, I should have asked this earlier. Are there any hobbies that you have as Fox?
I never thought about it that way. Now that you mention it, almost everything is better as a fox. The sun feels nicer on my fur than it does on my skin. Flowers smell better and more interesting when I sniff them. It's more vivid.
I remember Aspen using that word and explaining what it means. Bet she'd be proud if she heard me use it.
You do make it sound lovely. But are those things you do for fun?
Well...
I almost say yes right away, but then I think about it for a second. I do love those things I mentioned, but maybe they don't fit what Juliet is asking.
I guess not. They feel good, but they're not fun.
That's still valuable too.
So far, we've been following the same path that I took earlier when I went into town, but when we come to a crossroads, Juliet turns in the direction of a neighborhood instead of the city.
The first stop I need to make is down here. After that, we'll go look around and see if there's anything fun.
Alright, I'm just following you.
This isn't the same neighborhood where I hid from Juliet a couple nights ago, although it's pretty similar. Some of these houses are the sort that reminded me of bugs when I first arrived in Wellington. We stop at one of them, a little one-story house with the porch light on. I follow Juliet to the front door and she rings the doorbell.
Is this for one of your errands?
Yes, we're delivering those papers that were requested.
She straightens out the 2 yellow packets she was carrying. The door opens and a young woman carrying a baby stands behind it.
Oh, Miss Juliet! So good to see you!
With one of her trademark smiles, Juliet hands over the papers and the two chat for a bit. I lean against the wall, not involved or listening. When talking to the lady, Juliet uses the same warm tone and softness as when she's talking to me and Aspen. In fact, if I close my eyes, I could almost pretend that I'm back at the breakfast table with both of them, listening to them go on about books. Eventually, the woman takes the folder, and after saying goodbye several times, we leave. Several times! As soon as we're off her property, I turn to Juliet.
What was that all about?
I suppose you could call it another one of my hobbies. Sometimes, patrons have requests for information on their ancestors, or a piece of history that they'd like to learn about. For example, Mrs. Aliyu wanted to know about her husband's culture so she could teach her new child. I find and collect what's requested, and bring it to those who asked.
Whoa! Sounds like a lot of work.
It can be, but I don't mind it. The past is worth preserving, but not everyone knows how. It's my honor to help people do so. I have assistants too, such as dear Orpheus, who is delivering a letter on the far side of town for me.
Are all the bats your helpers?
Some more than others. They're friends, not pets. And so if they don't feel like helping, then I won't force them.
To me, it sounds like a lot of trouble to go through for someone else, even with the bats helping out. But Juliet apparently likes being inconvenienced, the same as letting me stay in her library. Still, it sounds like it could be really helpful in my own search for the traveler. As Juliet leads us to our next destination, we leave the residential area and go back towards the city. I try to keep my eyes peeled for anything interesting. There are plenty of people sitting out at shops, having a meal, or walking around the shops, but nothing out of the ordinary. In fact, it's not that much different from when I was here earlier. There are more fabled and fewer humans, but there are still plenty of those too. Some of the places I passed by are closed now, but some, like the music store, are still open. When we come to a big building with a lot of posters on the walls outside, we stop.
This is one of our movie theaters. They show all the most popular films, as well as independent ones from local creators. Have you ever been to see a movie before?
Not in a place like this. I know what movies are, but I don't think I've ever watched one.
Damn.
You should try it sometime. Maybe you'll find you like them. Movies can make you feel all kinds of different things. Happy, sad, scared, or just amused. Some are good for making you think, and some are good because you don't have to think about anything and can just relax.
Why would I want to watch something that makes me sad or scares me?
For some, it's fun to explore different emotions in a safe environment like that. When we see something that makes us feel strongly, it can stick with you. Perhaps cause you to view things in a different light. And if it ever becomes too much, you can simply stop watching or put on something else.
I'll try it sometime. Although, I don't know about the sad or scary ones.
There's nothing wrong with that. Everyone has different preferences.
Along the way, Juliet continues to point out different shops and locations that she thinks I should know about, like another library or a museum. I'm not very interested in either of those things, but I smile and nod and pretend like I am. After a while, we leave the city behind and reach the waterfront, just like I usually do. The ocean looks much different at night, with the starlight and moonlight reflecting off the water. Far out at sea, there are a few lights that must come from boats, and sometimes lights in the sky from passing airships. We head down a small path. There are so many fucking fishing poles out here for it being the fucking middle of the night. Head down a small path to the boardwalk where we look out onto the water. There are a few empty buckets sitting on the ground nearby, as well as some folding chairs. I point them out.
What are those for?
People like to fish off at this pier. They come at all hours, but I believe this spot is used for teaching lessons during the day.
Ooh, lessons on how to catch fish?
That's correct. Is that something you're interested in?
Of course she would be interested in that. She's like, that's practical. That's food right there.
Maybe. It's one of those things that I like doing as a fox, but
Oh.
I don't know if I like doing it the human way.
Should you decide you'd like to try, I'm sure there would be someone here who's happy to instruct you.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't want to commit to anything, but it couldn't hurt to come check this place out during the day.
I'm glad you found something that struck your fancy. Is there anywhere else you'd like to visit while we're out? Or should we return home?
Nah, I'm ready to head back. Is there anything for dinner?
I'm sure we can put something together.
Then let's go.
Since I actually know where we are now, I lead the way home with Juliet close behind me.